expressions. I would also like you to join me in acknowledging the Lenape people and others on whose ancestral homelands we gather on. We also acknowledge the diverse and vibrant Native communities who make their homes here today. So this festival is made possible in part by the National Endowment for the Arts, New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in partnership with the City Council, New York State Council on the Arts with the support of Governor Andrew Cuomo, and the New York State Legislature, Shandy Foundation for Intercultural Understanding. I also want to thank the amazing people who are participating with us this year, our fantastic artists and musicians, performers, scholars, chefs, cultural thought leaders, and community members. I also want to thank my colleague, Mackenzie Kwok, our folklorist who jumped in and made this program possible. The museum right now is open to the public. We are also offering Lower East Side walking tours, and in response as well to so much loss and devastation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, we have worked with an artist on creating a memorial book on site at the museum where our visitors can come and reflect and find peace and sanctuary and memorialize the memories or names of those they've lost. So I invite all of you to come and visit us in person at the museum. We are continuing to host virtual programs too, so I hope to see you over Zoom as well. So let's get started. Like I said, the festival will continue on every Sunday for the month of June. We're celebrating music and performances right now. On June 20th, we're going to be looking at street games on the Lower East Side. And on June 27th, it's all going to be about folk arts. Today's program, you may have noticed, is captioned for accessibility reasons. It is being powered by AI, so you can turn that function off or on by clicking the CC button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. So I'd like everyone to meet Mackenzie Kwok now. She's going to be introducing our musicians and festival more. Mackenzie is a folklorist. She's based in New York. And prior to working with the museum at Eldridge Street, she was the community engagement director at New York Living Traditions, where she developed a social media strategy for digital culture. She was also a board member of the New York Folklore, and has works published with American Folklife Center at the Library of Congress. She received her bachelor's degree at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where she researched Asian American identity and regional foodways. And she also received a master's on social anthropology at Cambridge University, where she studied monuments and protest. So Mackenzie, please unmute yourself and please take it away.
Hi, everybody. Like Sophie said, my name is Mackenzie, and I am the folklorist on staff for this festival. So some of you may be wondering what exactly folklore is in this context. Here, folklore refers to everyday expressive cultures. It can range from food to music, from dance to jokes, playground rhymes, street games. Folklore is expression in community. It communicates group identity and belonging across race, gender, ethnic groups, locale, even social networks and friend groups. Folklore is everywhere, and we do folklore all the time. Folklore lets us see cultural sustenance in action. By practicing traditions, communities enact, make, and recreate culture. This is especially important when we look at neighborhoods like the Lower East Side, where Chinese, Jewish, Puerto Rican, and more cultures live and continue to practice traditions. Just as the museum at Eldridge Street began as a house of worship built by Eastern European Jewish immigrants in the Lower East Side, it's now also a part of Chinatown. So the museum at Eldridge Street is really a spatial reminder of the many immigrant communities that have and still share space here. It's a reminder of the ever-changing nature of the Lower East Side while keeping the traditions of these communities alive. Last week, we saw how food is imbued with social connections, personal memory, neighborhood locality. And this week, we'll be looking at how music shows community traditions and culture. We'll have 3 performers today: Zisel Slepovich's trio with Steve Weintraub, a Yiddish dancer, Los Pleneros de la 21, and the Mencius Society for the Arts' EastRiver Ensemble. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the first group to perform today. We have Zisel Slepovich, Joshua Camp, and Dmitry Ishenko.
So, hello everybody. My name is Isel Slipovich, and my colleagues Joshua Camp on the accordion, Dmitry Yushchenko on the contrabass. And today we'll perform for you, and I'll speak a little bit about the traditional genres of Eastern European Jewish music, which is nowadays commonly known as klezmer, although in Yiddish, the word klezmer means a musician, and oftentimes not a very good musician. But nevertheless, we are in the modern world, and so I'll speak a little bit about the genres, and yeah, we'll play for you. So Jewish instrumental music in Eastern Europe has been accompanying the Jewish community's lives for as long as the communities lived there, having migrated from Central and East and Western Europe around 1350s at the time of the Great Plague, when the Jews were perpetrated, prosecuted. They moved to the east to Poland and Grand Duchy or Grand Principality of Lithuania, the two major countries there at the time. And they settled there and lived there with greater or lesser success for about 650 years. So instrumental music created one of multiple layers of Jewish musical tradition there, just like anywhere in the world. So I think it would make sense for us to look a little bit into the structure of Jewish musical tradition in general. The way it is structured is, in the core of it is synagogue cantillation, synagogue chant, and the motives of it come directly from the Mediterranean, the indigenous land of the Jewish people, which is now in Israel. And those motives comes from thousands of years back, but they have blended together with any local traditions, with diasporical traditions, and they create these unique combinations, unique blends that characterize and portray any given Jewish community, be that in Yemen, in Morocco, in Poland, or elsewhere in the world. And so we'll play together, we'll play for you a few, and I'll speak about a few musical genres. I will try to not speak a lot, but rather play more, but I think it's crucial also to understand what you're hearing. So the first dance, which I think is a staple genre. So if anybody knows anything about Jewish instrumental music, klezmer music, they will say freilachs. Freilachs means joyful, cheerful. And freilachs comes not from Eastern Europe, but all the way from Central and Western Europe. It was probably, allegedly, formed in around 15th century in Germany and Czechoslovakia, what is now Czech Republic and Slovakia, and along with such other genres like skočna, the jumping dance, and šer, the square dance, or the couples dance. So let us play for you freilachs. This one comes from Bessarabia, currently Moldova, in the south of Eastern Europe, from the repertoire of German Goldenstein. next genre which I'm going to talk about and play is chosidal. And as it comes, and as the name suggests, it comes from the Hasidic communities. And Hasidism is originally a mystical, a mystical sort of, sect is the wrong word, but branch of Judaism that emerged in the mid 1700s in Podolia, which is now in Ukraine. And Baal Shem Tov was the grand rabbi who started Hasidism. And there was a number of ways that Hasidim adapted existing dances to their practices. So let us say they would take the freilachs and make it more stately. Let's put it this way, more gracious, so more pious maybe. So the chosidal, this chosidal comes from the collection of Sophia Magid, a notable Russian Jewish ethnomusicologist who worked in the 20s through early 50s in Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, Russia. And she was a notable researcher not only into Jewish, but also a number of other traditions in the Soviet Union. And I was very lucky and privileged to work and transcribe her collection, her Jewish collection there in St. Petersburg about 20 years ago. So this is a chosidal from Prokoysk, now Slavgorod in Belarus. That was chosidal for you. And now we move on. So the next dance I'm going to play is called redale, and a lot of genre definitions were fluid. They were somebody would call something a skochne or a redale, and that was also called a freilachs in another location, just because freilachs, as I said, was a staple definition, so it would be covering a lot of two-field dances. So there's no surprise, and they don't say, oh, we caught you. You said that was Frelix, but now you're saying it's Skochna. Yes, but it's also, you're also right. You know, as a Jewish joke goes, like, you know, the two guys come to the judge, say, you know, I'm so and so, you're right. And the other saying, my case is so and so. No, you're right. How come you? And you're also right. So this is the Jewish case. No, so everybody's right. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So anyway, this is a redeles. A redel, it's a diminutive form of rod. Rod in Yiddish means a wheel. So it's a circle dance. Otherwise, so if you hear this piece under the name karahod, karahod is Belarusian for circle dance, or Russian Kharavod, or Belarusian Karahod. That's the same redele. So this was recorded also by Sofia Magid in Propoysk, which is Mogilov Oblast. So this is the southeastern Belarus. So there, the dialect was the Bolesian dialect. They would call it retali, not redele, but retali. Instead of d would be t, and instead of e would be retali. And so this is retali or Skochna, the jumping dance, bouncing dance. Whatever the name is, you can always go into dancing, into bouncing, into jumping. This is what this dance suggests. The next dance, excuse me, a piece of water. By the way, hydrate is really vital and crucial. The next dance is Bulgar, and it has developed in the body of Jewish tradition based on some predecessor genres in the Romanian and the Bessarabian folk music called Bulgariaska. So it sounds like Bulgarian. It's not really a Bulgarian dance, but it sort of refers to the image of the Bulgarians in the Romanian culture, as it often goes. There'll be another example we're going to show called Terkishev, which means a Turkish, and it's not Turkish music. It's an image of Turkish music in the eyes of Macedonians, of the Greeks, of Bulgarians, etc. But this is never recognized as Turkish music in the eyes of the Turks themselves. So that's a kind of interesting thing. So Bulgar is a 4/4 time dance, 4-field dance, rather lively, upbeat, with the contrasting rhythm in the rhythm section and the bass line. All right, ready? And we have Gastenstädtel, as they say, is a Yiddish dance master, Steve Weintraub. Seid begrüßt. Hey,
I plucked right out there. It was a miracle.
A miracle.
God ness. May I move some of this a little bit out of the way? Yeah, because I don't want to hit anything with my coat.
Yep.
So a little demonstration of Yiddish dance. This is going to be a bit of artistic, but Yiddish dance is gestural. It has shapes. It has improvisation. It rides on the surface of the music. So if you would give me a little music, please, and I'll improvise something.
Absolutely.
And this coat I associate with a teacher of mine. He was from Poland. He was a modern dancer. And it makes me think of Chagall. Not only was I dancing with your music, but I was dancing with the gorgeous architecture and stained glass here. I felt that that was my partner. But I don't only have to dance. I invite all of you who are watching to dance along with me. I'm going to take my coat off so you can see me a little better. And the first dance you can even do while you're seated. It's mostly gestures, but very typical gestures when people are speaking or when people are praying. These gestures are used. And we're going to do a Zimmer Lazar. So just follow me. I'll explain what I'm doing as we go along, but you should pick it up pretty fast. Grab little handlebars and glide away. Push around. Pinch. Dump. Pinch. So you can follow me or do what you like. You can move your feet around. I could almost feel you. The air was mixing up. The air was stirring around. And I hear that someone who was watching the Zoom link saw people moving. Bravo. We're going to learn something with a few steps. This is called a style of a dance called a chassidl. And it has a sort of lovely style and slow style to it. We just did sort of a frelux. But for this chassidl, we're going to step, brush, and step. 1, 2, 3. Step, brush, and step. Can you see my feet okay? Try that again. Step, brush, step. 1, 2, 3. Step, brush, step. So that's each side. We're going to step this way and a tap. Step that way and a tap. Back up. Go forward. So the chassidl has a very heavy emphasis on the beat. Then we're going to walk around to get ourselves ready to come forward. Walk 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come forward and say otazoi. That means that's the way. Otazoi. Step back. You can stamp your feet. Git azoi. It's good that way. 2 steps to the side. A kick. Another 2 steps. Go around the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come forward. And you say otazoi. Gitazoi. Step 2 and kick, and we're back to the beginning of the dance. How easy was that? You don't have to do it perfectly. Just move along with me. If you mess up, it's great. It's your own dance. The Yiddish dance is very idiosyncratic. Everybody does it in their own way. But here's a way to get this started. Around the other way. Otazoi. Gitazoi. Step. 1, 2, 3. Step. 1, 2, side to side. One more time. You know, channel a little bit more of hustle, sure.
How about the
So you know what to do now. Use any of those steps, use any of those gestures. If you have someone to dance with, you might take a handkerchief and hold it to them. Try to give a little bounce like this. You're all dancing Jewish ladies. Come towards the camera. Bravo! Ata Zoy! Ashenim Dank, these wonderful musicians.
Thank you,
It's a
Maestro.
pleasure. It's a pleasure to be dancing to live music in the same room.
Oh my God, I know. That's why.
What a mess. And in this incredible,
space.
incredible space.
What a gift, really.
Thank you so much, Eldred Street Synagogue Museum. And we hope to be back live with all of you on the street next year,
Bimheira v'yameinu.
God willing. And thank you. What a pleasure.
Thank you so much. That was just incredible. I can't remember having this much fun in a while. Some of the comments are just people expressing just such great joy. They said it was wonderful. So lovely to hear shtetl music to life. Such wonderful dancing expressions. Someone said that you should be a Hollywood actor. And also looking forward to next year's festival at the museum. To our audience members, if you have any questions for our musicians, for our dancer, for Steve, please ask them now while we still have them. Someone said, bravo, what joyful music and how nice to dance. Yeah, it really is. So much fun. Okay, well, thank you again all so much. We are on to our next act now. We have Los Pleneros de la 21, which is a bomba and plena ensemble and nonprofit community organization based in Harlem. It was founded in 1983 by Juan Gutierrez and the legendary master plenero Marcial Reyes Arvelo. Los Pleneros de la 21 seeks to promote the importance of traditional Puerto Rican music and dance. And in addition to performing, the group also offers workshops for youths and adults in the community. Now we're going to show you a pre-recorded film. I went up there a couple of weekends ago and I met up with Juan and his band and the dancer, along with our videographer, to bring this music over to you today. We met up in their headquarters in Harlem, and they're going to perform a couple of songs for you today. And I will say right off the bat, you know, when I heard the music, that was the first music that I've heard in person in 14 months and 15 months. And it just brought tears to my eyes. It was so moving. So Juan, the man himself, is here today. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us. And it's a great honor, great pleasure. And you're making my Sunday. Yes.
Well, we know that it's a very special weekend because it's also the Puerto Rican Day Parade this weekend, isn't it? So for you to have made a special appearance with us at the museum, that's really so special, and we're so honored to have you here again.
Thank you.
Before I show them the recording, could you tell us a little bit about bomba and plena, just for our viewers who may never have heard this before?
Sure. Well, bomba and plena are basically very much related. I would say plena is an outgrowth or a child of bomba because bomba happens to be the presence, I would say, establish the presence and the voice of people of color and African descent in Puerto Rico in the, 4 centuries ago. And that comes, of course, from the unfortunate period of slavery. And it came to be known as bomba because, that was the word that basically the everybody who documented these traditions heard that. But basically, these traditions come from different nations of Africa, and sometimes they got together out of necessity, of course, and they spoke different tongues, and they basically what they did is they reshaped the traditions that they have brought, not really from Africa, because probably they were children of African descent born in the Americas already, but they have the roots were in Africa, like every other African descendant in the Americas. So it happens to be a celebration of tenacity, of willingness, of strength, you know, and that perseverance is what really makes the music happen and the celebration. And what you will see in bomba is uh, an encounter, a dialogue. I would say sometimes people call it a competition, but it's really a dialogue between the dancer requesting, when you call, you are waiting or expecting a response. And that's what's going to happen. You see the dancer moving side by side, front, back, doing the movements that we call piquetes, and you will see the drummer responding to that. That's one of the main features of bomba. Then you will see plena with the panderos, the handheld drums, the tambourines we call it, and that's more of the 19th century, where already there's a Puerto Rican personality with many influences from Europe and everywhere else. So La Plena was like a sponge, but it comes to be a child of bomba because of the African tradition. So I hope you enjoy as much as I enjoy my own music. Okay, so this is my gift to you and to Father's Day, who's next weekend. All right, so enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, and I'll play the video for you all. And since this is a recording, I will say the audio might be a little off, so you might have to, adjust your volume a little bit. But I hope you enjoy it.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Saludos familia, saludos vecinos. We are Los Pleneros de la 21, and we are here the great day in East Harlem at the Julia de Burgos Latino Cultural Center, celebrating who we are as New Yorkers, but as Puerto Ricans, playing our music, sticking to our identity. This is classical Puerto Rican music, la plena y la bomba. Sube y baja.
Ay, sube y baja, te sube y baja, Sube y baja y mi corito no se me apaga. Sube y baja, sube y baja, sube y baja, mi corito no se me apaga. Ay, que sube y baja y mi corito no se me apaga. Ay, sube y baja y mi corito no se me apaga. Mi en la alta, sube que sube, baja que baja. Sube y baja y mi corito no se me apaga. Y que por aquí no te con caballero, yo fui a patinar. Y un choferito, guardia chulala y sube que baja. Sube y baja, sube que sube, baja que baja. Sube y baja y por eso no se me apaga. Ay, no se apaga, oye mi carrito. Sube que sube, sube, sube que baja. No se me apaga. Que se me apaga, yo te digo a ti, oye la alma. No se me apaga. Sube que sube, ay, sube que baja. No se apaga, no se apaga, oye mi corito. Sube, sube, me que baja. Por aquí la escucha como no patina. No se apaga, oye mi carrito. No se me apaga. Aquí yo estoy, oye en el barrio. No se me apaga. Sube y baja, sube y baja. Ay, sube y baja y mi corito no se me apaga. Sube y baja, sube y baja. Sube y baja, mi corito no se me apaga. Sube y baja, sube y baja. Sube y baja y mi corito no se me apaga.
And we're back here in East Harlem, el barrio querido de nosotros. Coming back with la plena puertorriqueña, la plena en el barrio. Los pleneros de la 21 para todos ustedes. Tilín, un número clásico. Vaya, Mateo.
Óyelo sonar, Billy, Dylan, el requinto de mi escoba. Billy, Dylan, óyelo sonar, Billy, Dylan, el requinto de mi escoba. Es tan bonito y tan sabroso, óiganlo sonar, Billy, Dylan, el requinto de mi escoba. Billy, Dylan, óyelo sonar, Billy, Dylan, el requinto de mi escoba. Pa' que lo baile todo el mundo, oigan cómo va.
La plena en el barrio. La 21. Yes, indeed. And we have arrived now at a very emotional, I would say, an exciting time in the performance. We're doing bomba. And bomba is basically what brings us here is our identity from our ancestors. And when we decide to embrace this music, to embrace who we are, this is very much part of it, la bomba puertorriqueña. And this is most of the time over the influence of Don Rafael Cepeda Atiles. And this is a song that we learn from him. It's Elise en se bomba Paulé. Para todos ustedes. Eliseo, 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 se está con San Paulé. Eliseo, Eliseo, se está con San Paulé. A ti le pica el cuá y el más tuye. Quiero bailar la se está con San Paulé. Eliseo, 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 se está con San Paulé. Ay, nosotros desde el barrio vamos para allá. Mira cómo suena la bomba en Mayagüez. Eliseo, 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 se está con San Paulé. Ay, Eliseo, 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 se está con San Paulé. Eliseo, 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 se está con San Paulé. Ay, mira cómo suena, mira cómo es. Por ahí viene moviéndose los pies. Eliseo, Eliseo, se está con San Paulé. Ay, mira qué bonita, mira cómo es, mira cómo mete la calle como es. Eliseo, 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 se está con San Paulé. Ay, Eliseo, 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 se está con San Paulé. Eliseo, 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 se está con San Paulé. Ay, mira retirada, y no lo quita que, mira cómo habla San Paulé. Eliseo, Eliseo, se está con San Paulé. Ay, el último verso ya yo terminé, mira cómo es San Paulé. Eliseo, 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 se está con San Paulé. Rafael Cepeda Atiles. Yes, indeed. Before we continue, and this is going to be our last song, it's going to be another bomba. Let me just take a couple of minutes to introduce the members of the band and to welcome here one of the foremost bomba dancers, not only in Puerto Rico, but all over the world. And we have the pleasure and the blessings that she's here with us today, Oxy Febles. Vaya un aplauso. Also, one of our singers, Carlos Espada, playing the maracadea. Jose Rivera. Jorge Vasquez on percussion.
Nelson Mateo González on lead percussion, todos los tambores. On piano, we have a guest also, and we have the pleasure of having Mr. Marcos Persiani on piano. And on bass, our musical director, Alexander Apolo Ayala. And my name is Juan Jose Gutierrez Rodriguez. Thanks to my mother, I'm here. Okay? Many blessings to all of you. Y seguimos con la bomba. We're going to do a bomba sica, a very traditional, very swinging for all of you. When you listen to this, when you watch it, I know you're going to dance.
Ay, pío, pío, piando.
Pío, pío, piando.
La gallina puso un huevo.
Pío, pío, piando.
Ay, pío, pío, ya piando.
Pío, pío, piando.
El gallito está cantando.
Pío, pío, piando.
La gallina cacareando.
Pío, pío, piando.
Y los pollitos están bailando.
Pío, pío, piando.
Ay, pío, pío, ya piando.
Pío, pío, piando.
Porque la fiesta se va.
Pío, pío, piando.
Ay, pío, pío.
Pío, pío, piando.
Yo te digo que. Ay, pío, pío.
Piando.
Vengo gozando. Vengo barachando. Oye, en esta fiesta. Vienen de la África lejana. De Santo Domingo. Y también Puerto Rico. Vienen los pollitos. Son de colores. Son los muchachos que vienen gozando.
Oye. Ay, ay, dale el gol, dale el gol. Ay, ay, dale el gol, dale el gol. Ay, ay, dale el gol, y a mí me gusta ese gol. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven tu compa, dale el gol. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven Mayagüez, Mayagüez. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven mira Pedro Rodolfo. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven mira para Mareador. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven bailadores, bailadores. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven bailadores, bailadores. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven mira dónde están. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven dale, dale, dale el gol. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven dale, dale, dale el gol. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven mira qué bonito el gol. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven dale el gol. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven Mayagüez para Pau. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven Isabel dónde están. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven dale el gol. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven dale, dale, dale el gol. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven dale el gol. Ay, ay, dale el gol, ven dale, dale, dale el gol. Ay, ay,
Caracoles de mar, lindo y tan bello, llegan de colores, son de mares, son los pollitos que tienen colores. Ay, curubina, oye de Ensemble, como se rosa ya se rosa, en el fondo ya del mar. Ah, son de mares, son de Puerto Rico, llenos de colores.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. That was just hearing the beat and the drums and seeing the young man, I think his name is Mateo, playing the drums. He's so talented with the axial faiblesse, the dancer. It was so terrific. So thank you, Juan, again for having us there a couple of weekends ago to watch your performance live.
Thank you.
I'm seeing some people responding already. Bueno, me gustó mucho. Wonderful, someone said. Someone said, well, my father played Cuban music. His instruments were the kata, pata, and tumba. So it was different from the Puerto Rican music you are playing today. This music just brings his memories back to me. Thank you for this wonderful music. Descriptive explanations. Can't wait to see you live again. Someone said the energy was off the charts, and I couldn't agree more. Now, Juan, I do have a couple of questions for you, and maybe our audience members will have questions for you too. But when you and I were meeting together a couple of weekends ago, you were telling me about your love for Harlem, for Loisaida, and the history that these neighborhoods has and how it has affected your music. Can you talk a little bit about these neighborhoods and the communities within these neighborhoods?
Of course. In the way I see it, and I felt it for so long since I been a New Yorker. I came from Puerto Rico in 1976. Basically, I felt that void when I came, and immediately I had to, to look for that air, that vibes, that, of the Puerto Rican community. And I found that, of course, I was uptown, so that was in East Harlem, in the Bronx. But very soon, I was down there in Lower East Side. What is called Loisaida. So, Loisaida for me is a very special neighborhood. It's really homey, down to earth, like East Harlem is, or it was, but still, that's the way I feel it. Those two neighborhoods, they're sister barrios, you know what I mean? So much alike so different and so much alike in many ways, but I love go down there as much as I can and visit Adela's restaurant. I cannot miss that. And oh boy, that vibes from lower side and lower side really, fills me up. Oh,
Can you
okay.
tell us a little bit about the music that we were just hearing? What were they about? What were you performing about?
Well, we talk so much about the African roots and all these influences of, let's say, of those settlers who came to the Americas. But this is basically migrant experience, like us, like all of us here. This is what I really receive. How was I touched when I came to New York. And immediately, I mean, I came here to study music, Manhattan School of Music, but I soon realized that if I wanted to aspire something and excellence in music, I had to be grounded in my own music, in my own traditions. So I started seeking out, and I found that I was lucky enough that many elders embraced me, and that's what I'm here today, speaking with you and talking to you and this beautiful audience. And but this is the migrant experience. This is what I learned, and when we talk about traditions, that's the tradition, and that's the tradition that they brought from their homeland in Puerto Rico. And it was kind of frozen because in Puerto Rico it really evolved, over the generations. But those old timers really kept it together, and that's how I learned it. And it was a very uh, interesting in a way because I remember Puerto Ricans when we started meeting all the Puerto Ricans who practice this music and said, "Wow, I th- I really haven't heard this style, this practice, the way you do it in so many years." It's because the old timers are our parents and grand and forefathers kept it together that way. And then it was our mission, our responsibility, I guess, to put our own influences. But it's not something that was premeditated. It's something that happens because you bring your own experiences, your own learnings to the music, and that's how that's how we saw it. That's how we felt it. That this is music for us. This is like a network. We perform it, but without that audience, without that communal audience, it would not happen. It doesn't happen. We need that connection. And that's what we see in every single performance that you have in this festival. And that's so great about it. It's so diverse, so different, but at the same time, so much alike. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
definitely. And that's why, that's why we're here. We're so excited to be showcasing the history and the music and the different beats and the rhythms and the dance. And it's amazing because you can hear that in New York, in this neighborhood, in this one neighborhood. And it's something that's so special about being in New York. And I can't wait for us to do this again in person. So
Yes.
Juan, thank you
Oh,
again so much for your time and for your fellow bandmates, your artists, their time. We're going to be bringing in our next artist
course.
now. So Juan, thank you again. And
Thank you.
for all of our audience members, you can continue to follow them and take note of their work. They're Los Pleneros de la 21. And we have their names on our website. So keep an eye out for more information about that. So thank you so much.
Keep enjoying the festival.
Thank you. So I'm going to bring Mackenzie back now. She is going to be introducing our next artist who's going to be performing in just a few moments. So Mackenzie, do you want to unmute yourself and introduce our next artist?
Our next performers are the Mencius Society for the Arts' EastRiver Ensemble, which is a collective of musicians based out of North China, where they're based out of East Chinatown. They draw on the folk repertoires of Hebei and Donbei regions of China, and EastRiver plays traditional music with some modern flair. Unlike other Chinese ensembles, EastRiver is led by a yangqin, which is a hammered dulcimer. So without further ado, let's see how EastRiver is doing and give them a warm welcome.
Terrific. So Julie Tay, let's see. I think you're still on the phone. I can see you in the camera. I think they're there. One of our performers.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
A bit of a quick explanation. First of all, thank you so much for having us. And those of you out there, thank you for signing on. And here we are again. It feels right at home. We've been doing this for how long? Maybe 12 years, 10, 12 years?
It's been a long time, Julie, yeah.
So we are EastRiver Ensemble. We had a little bit of a contingency here. You just mentioned our yangqin, our sort of a flagship piece of this ensemble. Xiao Xinlian is at home, and I think he's trying his best to, pray to the gods of the internet, he's still connected, and he's going to play a piece for us. But over here, I'm going to, as we go along, introduce our musicians. And I'm Julie Tay, and I'm on the percussion, as you see, and we're going to play a song together, and then we'll go from there. All right? And this is a folk piece, probably familiar to some of you. It's Zhu Diao, and that is Purple Bamboo. That's right, the Ballad of the Purple Bamboo.
Thank you.
Okay, great. We consider ourselves a part of that. So now we're going to move on. Here, the next piece is a solo, right? And it's something, of course, very popular actually instrument and quite well known nowadays on world stage. And Sunwei is going to be playing in solo.
Julie, sorry, can you speak a little bit louder for us to hear you introducing them?
Totally. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yeah, that's much better. Thank you.
So on the with the no. Just move the whole thing closer.
Okay, but the
Yeah,
picture,
yeah.
the zoom.
Is it now? Yeah, because this is a big room, but can you hear me better? Yeah?
I think so, yes.
Okay, great. I'm going to use my teacher voice. You guys better take notes. Okay, so Sun is going to play a piece on the guzheng, right? And the guzheng is generally translated as the harp, the Chinese harp. And like I said, it's very beautiful on its own. That's definitely. And Sun Wei要演奏的是fishing boat singing at night. Great. All right. 渔舟唱了，好。 piece, we're gonna play the, okay, this is it's all about feelings, right? I'm not gonna go on too long, I don't have a lot of time. But I wanna say that, 2 weeks ago, it's too close. Yeah. 2 weeks ago, right? When we came back to play on site, it was like so, the feeling of being together again was very exciting. So anyway, so this is 回娘家, right? Which depicts the feeling of a bride, going home, because she missed her mom and her dad so much, right? So it's that feeling, but it's also very festive.
Carry a lot of food.
Yeah, exactly.
Baby, newborn.
New.
It looks really cool.
I think we're having a little trouble hearing again, so. Oh, good. I think, is your thumb next to the microphone? I want to make sure that we can still hear you, because I think having some trouble hearing some of the people.
Chinese gate. Really? Gate? Chinese gate. Really? Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so Floran, it's one of our, long-standing bros of the EastRiver. We've been working together for 20 years now. Floran is going to play the song of the Yi people.
That was terrific. Thank you so much. I think we're still having some trouble hearing the spoken word from Julie. Yeah. I think the audio must be a little off right now because it's really very quiet. So we actually can't hear you very well right now.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm not sure if that's something that can be fixed now. But it's just the input, right? I'm looking at our audience to see if they're nodding, to see if they're also having some trouble hearing. Yeah. Yeah, so we can't hear you, unfortunately, that well, although we could hear a little bit of the pipa and it was beautiful, but it's very quiet. So, you know, I know that we have a lot of video online too. We can point our viewers to watch previous performances so they can get a taste of what you're all about. So, what's that?
Because the next piece is a dulcimer, and you can hear the dulcimer very well because it's very sharp.
Yeah, we really can't hear you at all. So I'm so sorry, but we have these beautiful recordings of you. And all I can say is thank you all so much for the wonderful performance. It was so moving. Someone even said that when the guzheng was playing, it was mesmerizing. So, yeah.
Just 1 minute.
Oh.
Hi, Sophie.
Oh, hi.
This is from Mencius, so I can actually use my phone.
Oh, there's some
echoing, right?
Echoing, yeah.
But now it's good, right?
Okay, that's much better.
So do you mind if I use this account
for
the
go ahead.
remaining?
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right.
And Valerie says that she can hear now. So I know you have one more song for us, right?
We have 2 more songs.
You have 2 more. Okay. Okay.
But if you're losing all your audience,
I think we're sort of nearing the end of our program, so maybe we can just do one more.
Yeah. Well, we just play one song and then
we'll do one more. Okay, that sounds great. Thank you, Julie. Thank you.
喜羊羊完事儿，他那个观众呢？喜羊羊观众就是观众听不到这种。哦，听不到。记掉啊，喜羊羊 ，beaming is happiness， 来一走。
Yay, thank you so much. Since someone commented, 喜羊羊 the happy festive tune.
You got any feedback from the audience?
Well, a lot of people are clapping their hands right now and sending celebratory signs. So I think they've enjoyed it very, very much.
In the future.
Yes, and I think we can't wait to have you back. You know, with Zoom, it's not quite the same, but still, it's such a joyful thing to have all of you bring music to our living room. So thank you so much. And to our audience members, thank you too for joining us on your Sunday. And I really, really hope to see you next week when we have our program all about games, all about street games in New York. It's going to be on Sunday, the 20th. It's a perfect way to spend a Father's Day, you know, talking about the street games they used to play as kids. I'm getting wonderful messages of thanks to all. So great concert trio performances. Thank you all. And so grateful for our performers. Mackenzie, thank you for being such a great help to us as well. So thank you all. And I hope to see you back at Eldridge Street. We're open, like I said, with pay as you wish admission till the end of June. So we'll see you next week, I hope. Thank you all so much. Take care.